Time to reset Babylonian pyramid slave system. To Torus, natural circulation of energy system of the universe. This is a secret coaching how to invite fallen Lucifer, the guardian deity of deep state, as our seraph Lucifer, ally to teach us DS octopus grip of sinister system. Now, look people, do you know that the symbol below is fallen Lucifer? Which is a symbol of our freedom, statue of liberty chained is shown on the left foot. We all American are fooled by DS, our statue of liberty is the disabled statue of liberty. It is time to wake up America and remove this chain. Western culture only knew how to manage world by the Babylonian pyramid ruling system, is leading the world toward one world order as communism by DS. While we are still in brand new century, we must dismantle Babylonian pyramid ruling system by the natural Torus energy cycle system, and open up a brand new study of the world managed economic systems. This time, I propose a secret coaching that Lucifer is the original seraph Lucifer, who was the highest in the heavens instead of fallen angel, by joining us as the angel who has engaged in the heavy role to train and wizens us from the highest God instead of the position of Lucifer, the demon god, which the master of deep state worships. Archangel Michael and fallen angel Lucifer are twins. In heaven, Lucifer tries to become a god and rebels, loses to Michael, and becomes a fallen angel Lucifer who has been dropped to the earth. I am going to provide you detailed explanation. Those two polarities of good and evil are one, through Japanese Shinto polytheistic platform, which is hated as animism in the West. I explain later why Western adopts the view of human nature as fundamentally depraved, and Japanese adopt the view of human nature as fundamentally good. Let's make Michael Angel as Japanese god of goodness, Lucifer fallen angel as Japanese evil god. Let's explain in a Japanese anecdote that these two gods are one. By the way, to me Michael Angel equals Michelangelo, smile. One day, as the god of goodness is walking along a cliff, then see evil god fell off the cliff and is dying. Seeing that, the god of goodness, oh, that's okay, and if you die as it is, my work becomes super easy, and he tried to pass by. And the god of evil said, wait a minute. When I die, there will be no evil in the world, only God of goodness remains? Then, you lose the object of comparison, and the meaning of goodness itself disappears. So you must help me. Oh yes, said the God of goodness, and help the evil God. The reverse is also true. Once the God of goodness is gone, only the strongest evil God survives in the end. Then even the meaning of evil becomes meaningless if the comparison element is eliminated. If you look into even deeper at the role of the evil God, if only God of goodness in the world, who trains us wise and strong. That is why I think the evil God took on a nasty, super heavy role from God. You know now that evil God is an important God to us. By the way, Einstein said, if a problem occurs, there is no solution found in the same dimension. Based on his saying, I am going to lead you to new vision which raise the level of abstraction and dimension, and begin coaching the low of one, the cosmic truth. Let me depict how to see time from different perspective. Shown in left chart. Present is the event horizon, which is at the cross point of your future flowing down to the present, and your past moving toward the present. My coaching is coming from your future. And once you learn this secret, you learn how to invite preferred future to your present. Now, what is the low of one? It means God created the universe, so there is nothing which is not God in the universe. Then as I converted it into an equation by Babylonian pyramid self-controlling system, x, a plus b plus c plus d plus etc. equals 1. X factor equals God. A, B, C, D, etc. enclosed in, represents all beings in the universe, including viruses in spacetime which have all the different characters. If you look into only within, it looks like a world that is not in harmony, because they are naturally looks like foreign substances with different essences. In this equation in Babylonian style, it shows a beautiful misconception that there is a completely independent individual. So individual freedom is the right that God has given to people. This individual freedom is the backbone of our democratic system. But it is misinterpreted as doing whatever you want. And in death, my freedom and the freedom of others are to conflict each other. So they cannot coexist because each has a structure of exclusion. Because there is no God X factor in. Since Babylonian style look human this way, why Western adopts the view of human nature as fundamentally depraved. However, I hope you to enjoy your personal freedom to extend as much as your hobbies. Based on that mass misinterpreted of the idea of God-given freedom of individual. Those who have power become the rulers over have no power. Just like our modern culture experiencing this day. As shown on the picture left. God factor X position at the top on $1 bill. God factor X equals the eye of providence. Equals God of DS equals God above people equals God of look down, condemn. Under this structure, the influential people are at the top, sucking up all wealth and power, and those do not circulate and distribute in the world. You can see it better by looking at the diagram of the torus circulation flow left below plant torus, which is the flow of energy by nature in comparison with a dollar pyramid. Babylonian style is the lower half of the plant cut out with a triangular shape, which is to suck up wealth and power to the top, and do not circulate well as you have been experiencing. Since this structure only a lower part of torus that does not circulate and flow energy as the natural cosmic way, consequently wealth and power began to rot at the top, and over time, leads to root decomposition, and then it had been swept away by the World War to reset, and this way our civilization has come to this day. This Babylonian slave system is able to handle any way they want at the top. Just like our capitalism, communism, and socialism without a circulation cycle. So world peace is absolutely impossible with those principles. Yes. The Babylonian slave system is a structure that divides people toward exclusion. Such as I have no control of it nor nothing to do with it. It contains a structure to control emotion into separation stage. Torus is the circulation of energy in the universe. Now, let me show the above equation applying the torus natural principle. The energy coming in from under the hole in the center of the donut flows upwards. Orbit the sides of the donut in a circular motion and return to the center. The energy returned to the center also flows up and circulates in the same way. Repeat returning to the center. On the contrary, the energy coming in from above flows downward. This also goes around the sides of the donut in a circular motion, returns to the center, and repeats flowing from top to bottom. In this way, energy is once cohesive and circulate over and over again innumerably forever. The apples, the earth, and the universe all have this torus structure. Of course, human energy also depicts this torus. The torus theory is that the energy of all things in the universe once cohesive and spread and circular in a torus shape. Now, let me explain the law of one by the Japanese classic Tenno people mutual governing culture. The wisdom to separate authority and power by Tenno Heika. First of all, I have to explain what Tenno means, formerly called Tenno Heika. Dictionary says Tenno Heika or Tenno is Japanese emperor or Japanese monarchy, which are poorly interpreted. Ten equals heaven, sky. No equals God. Tenno equals heavenly God. Hei equals stair of palace. Ka equals lower one. Heika equals under palace stair. Tenno Heika equals a person who has a duty to stand by at the bottom of heavenly palace stair. to communicate with Heavenly God for people. Japan has adopted over 2,600 years with the mechanism, wisdom to separate authority and power. Thus, Tenno has only authority over power, therefore Tenno has not had military protection. Then Tenno set a rule to call Tenno people mutual governing culture. I must explain procounts on Mitakara. Pronounced on means acts as respected opponents. Pronounced as me means equal to myself. Pronounced Takara means treasure. Tenno declared the entire Japanese people is the greatest treasure. Which means people is my treasure equal to myself respectfully. There are 3 basic rules. 1. It's not money, not power, it's not a historic building, it's not the value that religion or philosophy teaches, but Tenno declared the entire Japanese people is the greatest treasure above all for thousands of years. That is why Japan has no slavery. 2. To be qualified as Tenno, he takes his own heart, purify closer to the God without personal interest, and governs the center of the Torus by the support of people. 3. The power of time under Tenno authority manages the energy circulation distribution between Tenno and the people. The law of one. God created the universe, so there is nothing which is not God in the universe. Babylonian style form equals x, a plus b plus c plus d plus etc. equals 1. If you remove the parentheses, it becomes Japanese style form equals xa plus xb plus xc plus xd plus z equals 1 and all attached by God factor x. This is the true formation of the universe, the law of one. Even though it is taken as primitive animism in the West. Let me give you a good example. The picture shown on the left is Shota, the caddy of Matsuyama, is bowing his head to the spirits of the course. When Matsuyama won the Masters for the first time as a Japanese in 2021, the world was surprised. This is the essence of Japanese culture, the God factor X. Once I depict the true figure of the law of one, it becomes Torus formation shown below image. It fits perfectly with the Japanese Tenno people mutual governing culture. I have to explain details below to let you know what it means.
天のピープルミューチャルガバニングカルチャー、訓民教示制度。
Read Koan equals Tenno. Read Min equals people. Read Q equals together with heart. Read G equals govering. Read Saito equals system. Especially, Q means together is given, heart, in it to create. Extra meaning in Q equals together with heart. Tenno people mutual governing culture means Tenno and the people will hold their right and left hands together to support each other with all their heart to rule the country. Of course Tenno is a living human, but people position Tenno as a living god to form a Torus. This very important humble Tenno role is chosen because the male Y chromosome continues in the bloodline to the next male lineage without competing for that role by power. The next bloodline Tenno. This way, the people obliged Tenno to be the throne of God. In this way, all the people are on the Torus energy flow. People motivation move toward how each can contribute to the other people. For that reason, first, keep yourself healthy. Second, think of the benefit and delight of other, while enjoying personal freedom and hobbies. On the other hand, in Babylonian style, the freedom of the individual is the God-given right. Thus people mistaken to understand, one can do anything once you got power. Rise to the ruling class, retire early, employs your own slaves appropriately. For example, by the time you get up in the morning and came to work, haven't you come to work using anything you made? So heaven has already given you everything. In other words, we live entirely in the flow of the Torus energy cycle. Yes, once we are awakened by this coaching to reset as to mass true conception, We can make our preferred future flow down to our present, and we are on this timeline to make it now. Religion came from Latin ligare. Ligare means facile, which means fascism. Each religion has a guru and his scripture. But the big first question is that neither Christ nor Buddha wrote the scriptures. The big sin why is because it cannot be taught by scriptures, unless it is coached by a guru to man. Contrary to the above facts that people believes, my own religion is everything, having ability to accommodate all other religion, being set above it lie domain to fascism, because divides people in the said same consciousness. When religion is in a small group, it is so pure and true, but it is human nature wants to rule people once it got power. For example, the Catholic Church under the Pope has Jesuits, an army that spreads and defends the teachings, and even murders. Let me show you a clear example. All you know John Lennon, he wrote famous song Imagine, and because of that, he was killed by the way who pulled it behind. Imagine says, imagine there is no heaven, no hell below us, above us only sky, nothing to live or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. This poem is awaking people to join as one without religion, which is dividing and controlling us. Let me say one more time. Religions lie domain to fascism. Lastly, Japanese Shinto equals God Road has no guru nor scripture. Thus, it does not fall into the definition of religion. It is a Japanese culture which allows every other god and scripture to coexist within the main frame of the conception of inclusion along with God factor X. However, being said above, actual Japan nowadays, Tenno system is under Japanese government, infected by the deep state octopus grips, driven to the corner to disappear. We must learn soon as being explained above. Japanese Torus culture to run the world is to disappear from the earth. There I heard an American proverb butterfly effect. A single Florida butterfly flaps create a hurricane. Let's all become Florida butterflies and flap together to change the world. Thank you.